So here we are at a European sweet chestnut tree. It's like a little grove next to this house. Already spoke with the homeowner, got the okay to be out here and collecting the seeds, but absolutely insane. I've never actually seen a European chestnut, let alone a chestnut tree in the United States and where I live, and it's so incredible to actually see this kind of tree. But here's the leaf of the European chestnut tree, and all over the ground is littered the seed pods of these European chestnuts. And I hope that's a good angle for you guys in the bag, but I've just been collecting a ton because these are sweet chestnuts and for eating as well as for making tree seedlings. But this is incredible. I've never seen European chestnuts here in Tennessee. And these trees are not too big. They're over here littering chestnuts. They're rolling around over there all over the ground. And while I've been here, a couple of them have fallen. But wow, absolutely incredible tree. But the clumps the chestnuts are actually in is very prickly and really really hard on the fingers, so definitely want to wear gloves. But the chestnut nut itself on the inside is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, a beautiful color, beautiful nut, beautiful size, and it's so gorgeous. But again, so this is us collecting the seeds. Then we're going to move on to the next step and go ahead and further growing our European sweet chestnut trees from seed. Alright guys, so here we are with our European sweet chestnuts, and we're getting ready to put them through stratification. The method of stratification I like to use is just putting them in a plastic bag and moist peat moss throughout the cold duration in my fridge, so it's more controlled and isolated and I can watch it, especially these being chestnuts. Wildlife just absolutely loves these, and they would get eaten up by the critters real quick. So definitely want to keep it controlled. You could do it outside naturally. So if say you had like pots, or you knew where you wanted to put that chestnut tree, like outside in the woods or whatever, you could just plant the seed directly. But again, there's a pretty big risk of wildlife eating on these because they're just very extremely nutritious and loved by deer and all kinds of game. So what we're going to be doing is just putting them, like I said, in the bag through cold stratification in my fridge, which I would recommend you do. These chestnut nuts are pretty big. I did just put a little bit of peat moss in here. I'm going to go ahead and add more once I got all these in here. But all I did, guys, is I actually had these chestnuts for like 3 weeks. They've been in my fridge for a while, if not more. So I went back to the European chestnut tree like grove where I collected them from in the first clip, and there was no more chestnuts. Like there was like none on the ground, just a bunch of empty of the like spike ball husk, and I was pretty amazed. I was like, wow, I hope that the ones I collected a while ago are still good, and a lot of them turned out to be good, or at least I'm hoping so. They didn't float when I did the water test, but something I did learn is that chestnuts, I hope you guys can see that, they got these burrowed holes right there and like on the top, and these are from like little grub worms right there. I've actually cracked open a couple nuts I was just eating, and they had the little worms on the inside wiggling around. It's like a common grub. So that's what I'm hoping is not in these. That's why I do the water test, and the ones that float, usually we're hoping that that means that, hey, there's a worm in there, so we know not to plant it. But actually, this one was sinking in the water test, and it has a grub burrow hole. So we'll see. Not 100% third proof, excuse me, method of checking out the seeds, but anyways, nonetheless, this is what the seeds are looking like in the plastic bag. I'm going to go ahead and throw a little bit more peat moss on top of this and add a little bit more water. And all we're going to do, guys, is leave this in the fridge for duration until around late February or early March, until I think it's like safe, or it's been enough time for us to go ahead and plant these outside and be monitored. Or I might start these indoors actually, to avoid getting eaten by squirrels or deer and all that stuff, because they still can smell these guys out even though it's springtime and you wouldn't think they're hunting for them or foraging as much. But no, they'll still smell these out, demolish them, and there goes all your hard work. So I definitely don't want that to happen. But anyways, that's going to be it for this clip in this part of the video. So we're going to follow up in the springtime after stratification has been completed. Alright gang, here we are roughly 6 months later with our European chestnut seeds. Now, these have definitely stratified correctly, and they're already germinating. Those are all sprouts in there of actual saplings for European chestnuts. And a quick little look at the bottom of the bag, we can see a crazy entanglement of taproots. Taproots right here with white hairs going out, and then we got stems coming up, just absolutely crazy. You definitely don't want to see this happening in your bag at this point. These should have been taken out roughly a month and a half ago. And again, if there's background noise, I apologize. I'm outside in a greenhouse with plastic walls, so it's kind of loud, and it's raining. But anyways, again, probably early March, that's when you wouldn't want to take these out. And I saw these rooting in early March, very small amount, nothing like this now. and I was just so busy I wasn't able to, but we're just going to roll with it. They should be okay. I got a lot of other plants that are doing the same thing. So all we're going to do is, once we know that they have stratified and they're starting to root a little bit, and or they haven't rooted at all and we just know it's been enough time, we'll go ahead and take them out of the fridge, which I've done, and go ahead and transplant them to pots. And then we're going to, nurture them and watch them as they grow. Now, these, since those are all stems in there, very, very sensitive, very watery material in there, very sensitive. We are going to be, kind of gentle, but honestly, there's so many of them in there and they're so entangled, we got to be a little forceful, but we do want to preserve them if we can. And that is all peat moss. So we're going to go ahead and just throw that to the side of the greenhouse for a mess to clean up later. Oh yeah, I can feel the firmness in there. And these guys are coming out like a cake. I mean, look at, they are so entangled in there. And again, guys, this is not what you want when you are stratifying and growing your own chestnuts. You do not want to wait to the point where they all grow entangled, and then you got to deal with this mess, and you're going to end up losing some. But again, I put so many in here, I'm not too concerned, but this is not ideal. Green thinking's over here slacking. But here we are with our European sweet chestnut, beautiful taproot going on, stem growing in nicely, and this is what it looks like. So beautiful. We are able to salvage these, definitely, like this one as well. Super stoked. I mean, this is one of my most excited tree growing tutorials I'm going to be posting on my channel, and just in general, very, very excited. But as y'all can see, clustered up like nobody's business. I mean, beautiful, beautiful root density, top roots every which way. I mean, look at that. That's gorgeous, perfect. But what we're gonna do is go ahead and move on to transplant. Perfect example. Nice little bit of depth in there. We want to accommodate that taproot. Do not want to stress it by any means. Make sure it's fitting in there nicely. And then we are gonna go ahead, very, very, very gently go ahead and backfill that. Just lightly tapping. I mean, literally almost no pressure. And then we're gonna go ahead and take some dirt from our other pot over here and build it up, tap it, and as you water these young saplings and as they grow more and more, the soil will compact and all that air fluff in there will go ahead and gradually pack down, and as the roots root and spread and kind of network out, it'll be fine and it'll grow in. So don't worry too much about if there's a lot of floof in there, because again, as you water it's going to go down and it should be fine. You just add soil as you water it and as needed. So that is honestly going to conclude it for this step. This is a mess to deal with. Super excited nonetheless. I'm going to go ahead and probably plant like 30 of these, but that is it for this step, the follow-up on stratification. Again, this is, this is ideal, but also not ideal at the same time. So again, hope you guys are seeing some stratification if you are following along and trying to grow your own in your area. And what I'm going to do is follow up in a couple of weeks with these, and I will catch you guys in that clip. Hi friends, here we are on October 31st, and these are our European chestnut trees, otherwise known as sweet chestnuts, and these are our saplings. Now, since the last clip, sadly I did have a squirrel break into the greenhouse, and they ransacked quite a few of my trees. Luckily they left a good amount of these. They really went for the acorns and black walnuts, but nonetheless, on top of that, this year I've just been so busy with work and some other things. I just haven't been able to manage, water, and transplant these trees when they really needed to be. So they're still in their original pots, and we're about to go into fall when they're going to go dormant. But realistically, after you get a decent amount, the sapling up to here, good leaves on it, some of these are still short, and they had pretty decent sized leaves really fast. You want to go ahead and let the roots get more established, make sure they're okay, make sure it's getting enough water, and then go ahead and transplant to a larger pot. Now, when you do that, and you keep it moist and you transplant to a bigger pot, you are going to allow the tree to really thrive, to really grow and get some good size on the stem, get more leaves to sprout and grow, and you're just going to help progress and do as much as you can to make sure that the sapling grows as fast as it can. So these, as good as they look, could be looking a lot better, could be looking a lot taller. That one back there definitely could be a lot bigger, but nonetheless, they look great. I'm going to go ahead and transplant these into pots like this over here in the next couple of weeks, just so I can have a follow-up video for y'all in the springtime. So that is going to wrap up this tutorial. Again, super stoked I was able to find a European chestnut tree here in Middle Tennessee. How crazy. Amazing chestnuts, gorgeous fruit, beautiful leaves, and just a beautiful tree overall. So that is going to conclude this tutorial. I really hope y'all enjoyed. It's been a blast for me, and I'd love to hear any progress or updates any of you guys have from your own experiences and your own trials with growing these from seed. So I will catch you guys in the next video, and I appreciate you for watching.